Doctor Who Flux, Chapter 5, is an absolute fucking mess. Can I be done now? Can I be done? Because I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself again a lot. But Chapter 5 does the thing of literally shoving things at you again. And it constantly keeps jumping location to location to location. And it really doesn't need to. I don't know why. And there's also a lot of unexplained stuff, so yeah, spoilers ahead if you care, but there isn't really an explanation on just like how Dan, Yaz, and other guy, I forgot his name, just got away from that village. They just suddenly somewhere else and they're looking for a pot with a date and that on it. It's just really kind of out of left field, you know? And the whole Doctor being turned into a weeping angel thing literally is resolved in the opening bit of the episode, the very opening. So, yeah, that was kind of pointless and didn't really need to happen. It was just one of those ooh shocker things that really wasn't shocking because you knew it would be resolved. But I didn't think it would be resolved that quickly. So, yeah, we get more about the division and we actually get to see the division, which is a place. And yeah, the division, literally, the way it's described, it is literally just a renamed Celestial Intervention Agency. It is literally that. That is literally it. Basically, Chris Kimmel has basically just stolen the CIA idea from the 1970s. I think Deadly Assassin is the first time it's mentioned. And he's literally just come up with a different name and pretended that it's his own, which he does a lot. Chris Chibnall, if he ever has something more interesting ideas than that, he generally, for sure, has basically taken them from somewhere else. And that is the case here. So, yeah, the Doctor gets to meet an Ood who has very human-looking eyes. I don't know why this Ood has really human-looking eyes rather than the regular Ood eyes that we've seen previously. It just looks a bit odd. And we also have the return of Tecteun. Yeah, that old woman who was teased before. That's Tecteun. And oh god, just the Doctor is the most important thing in the history of everything kind of thing. Really, I'm really getting sick of this. Like, literally, Tecteun goes on a speech on how the Doctor influences people and the universe, blah, 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 blah. Just like, ugh. I'm really getting sick of this. I just miss seriously, part of the appeal to me of the Doctor is just the Doctor was just, there was nothing special about the Doctor in terms of the universe and everything like that. Like, I just miss those days, but no, everything revolves around the Doctor now, and the Doctor is the most important thing of the history of anything. It just makes things really boring and really cliched. And yeah, it just does. And also the big, massive advertising thing for this episode was again a lie. So remember in episode 3 how they were heavily promoting the Cybermen? Well, this time they heavily promoted the return of Kate Stewart. And Kate Stewart has about just as much screen time as the Cybermen did in episode 3. Now, granted, thanks to the next time trailer, we know she's in the next episode. But even so, the amount of promotion that Kate Stewart's returning in this episode, just like, yeah, she doesn't return until like the last 5 minutes. And she literally only gets a couple of minutes of screen time at most. And then is just gone again, so yeah. And also, I tell you what, though, something that was a slight surprise is the return of the Sontarans. Yeah, the return of the Sontarans is just like a bit of a weird one in bringing them back for, I guess, revenge. But it's just like, the Songtarans is like, this seems like like, too high for the Songtarans. Like, the Songtarans are more of a B tier sort of villain. Like, they're not in the top three. So to have them as I don't know, to elevate them to the stage that they're at, it just seems a bit beyond them. And again, it just goes to let's just shove a bunch of things and start randomly seeing things that really doesn't really explain anything. For example, the Victorian guy from 1904, he comes back and he reveals that he's been building these tunnels underneath Liverpool that lead to different time periods. The thing is, it's not really explained how he knew about this, why he did it, or anything. It's just kind of there. And again, our main villains, Mr. and Mrs. Sparkly Dudes, they're here again. Yeah, I mean, I guess they have a slight motivation now of just them wanting revenge. But, they're wanting revenge for their imprisonment. Okay. So if they were imprisoned, then what were they doing in the first place? What was their motivation there? And also, the woman that, Mrs. Sparkly, the blue woman, it's never really explained, how or why she was imprisoned as a human, or even if she was imprisoned, because it's a bit weird like that. I honestly don't know. There's a lot of things the thing is with Chris Grimlock, just a lot of things that just don't make sense. I could literally go on for hours and hours just on things just why is this happening? Why does this happen? Why does this person make this? And none of it is ever explained. It's just there. It's a scene where literally, this episode is literally just cutting to character, just saying a load of things and explaining things. And, well, I say explaining things, kind of just saying things, because things aren't really explained in this episode. It's just, I honestly don't know. Just imagine a casual viewer just trying to make sense of this, because it doesn't make sense. That's the thing, there's a load of pointless stuff in here. Like the whole Dan and Yaz subplot in this episode, you could literally cut that out of this episode and it would make pretty much no difference. The whole flashes to this guy, infiltrating Unix, the snake guy we're going to call him, because I think that's what he calls himself. Or Snake something, who's revealed to be working for the Songtarans. Yeah, those scenes could be completely cut out, and again, it would make no difference to the plot. How do you have a plot like this where it feels like you're shoving so many things in that are completely pointless to the overarching plot? Just how? It just feels like we've gotten nowhere in this. It just feels like so far we've gotten, nearly 5 hours of just complete filler. And it just feels like it's all completely all over the place. Like, this plot, I don't know, it just feels like something like this. It feels like maybe this was something that was going to be spread throughout more episodes, or whether it's done like this. It just doesn't have any cohesion to it. It's just thrown about all over the place. And I guess it's just deliberately trying to just, make it seem like a grander global scale catastrophe kind of thing, but it just doesn't fit. Unfortunately, it just doesn't fit together. And again, we getting teased of the Doctor's memory. There's a scene, literally, where the Doctor discovers a fob watch which has her memories in it. And Tectune just comes in and says, oh, you have a choice. Just you could go back, but you wouldn't get your memories back. And just why doesn't the Doctor just... If the Doctor really wants... our memories back so bad, why doesn't she just grab the fob watch? It's not like, it's locked up or anything. It's actually just got, a glass veil over the top of it. Like, literally, just lift up the glass cylinder or smash it in that and then open the fob box. There, you've got your memories back, and then you can go back anyway. Why is this like a whole thing? Like, the Doctor seems to not be doing a lot in this episode. Or in any of these episodes, to be quite frank. It just kind of feels like it's just kind of pointless stuff for the sake of pointless stuff. I honestly don't know. Like, to be honest, I reckon Doctor Who Flux, by the time this is all over, you could probably edit down Doctor Who Flux into like 2 episodes max. Like, I'm not joking. You could really edit this down. Like, this has, just far too many pointless things just happening that just seem to go nowhere, or just confusing things that just seem to just happen, to be honest. And I'll say what I said with episode 1. This feels like a Doctor Who clip compilation, except it's an actual episode. Like, literally, like, the Doctor Who YouTube channel keeps uploading clip compilations. In fact, I think they did a unit one this week, where they were just uploading, random clips from unit throughout Doctor Who history. And yeah, this feels like that, except, those clips are good and this just, no. So, that's all I gotta say. It just is a complete mess. It is a complete mess. It honestly, it doesn't even feel like a first draft. It doesn't even feel like a first draft. It feels like it just feels like there's a bunch of ideas that is just the script somehow. It's just a bunch of ideas that, Chris Chibnall's had. Like, it's kind of like a spider diagram where, it's just like, oh, this could happen, and this could happen, and this could happen, and they're all just kind of, thrown in together. That's what this episode and Doctor Who Flux in general is. So, yeah. But anyway, that's it for my thoughts on this episode. I can't be asked to talk about it anymore. Bye-bye.